Hello there everybody and welcome back to Movie Squirm. Everyone is in Art the Clown fever right now with Terrifier 3 just releasing at the cinema, and it is doing very well at the box office it seems. So I am just happy as a Terrifier fan to see that. Now I thought I'd come on here today and rank all 4 movies in the Terrifier series, not including the 2 shorts, Terrifier and The Ninth Circle. I'm just going to be talking about All Hallows Eve and the first 3 Terrifier movies here. Now I have reviewed the 3rd Terrifier movie on this channel. If you guys would like to check that out, I will leave it in the link down below. But I do plan on reviewing Terrifier 1 and 2, probably leading up to when Terrifier 4 comes out, which is absolutely inevitable. But let's just get into it now with the ranking from the worst to the best. And when I say the worst, I had fun with all these movies. It's a real fun franchise, so let's get into it. Coming in 4th place is going to be the anthology film All Hallows Eve. Now I've got a bit of a confession to make here, guys. I did not watch this until I watched all 3 Terrifier movies. I just hadn't heard the best things about it really, and I was never really in the mood. But now with it being October and I know this takes place on Halloween, and after being in Terrifier fever a little bit after watching the 3 movies in the past few weeks, I thought, you know what, I have to give this a go. It's a Art the Clown features in this movie. It's directed by Damien Leone. I have to give it a go and see it for myself. And you know what? I actually really enjoyed this. I know it's at the bottom of the list, but I did get quite a big kick out of this movie. This sees 2 kids being babysat on October the 31st, Halloween of course, and it's got like some Halloween movie vibes there with Laurie and babysitting the 2 kids. You know, it's sort of going for that, I think. Damien Leone paying homage to that a little bit there. But after trick-or-treating, one of these kids finds a videotape in their goodie bag, basically. And there's nothing on the VHS case, nothing titled on the cassette. And they beg the babysitter to watch it. So she caves in and then they watch it. And on this tape is 3 different stories, and thus makes this an anthology film. Now, the first story features Art the Clown at the start of it, and then it sort of goes into this woman being kidnapped, and something is down in this dank, greedy place where she's been kidnapped. I did think this was a little bit of a weak story. It started off well, especially with Art the Clown in there. But then when it went to this sort of cult little thing that was going on, kind of didn't make sense to me. I mean, there was like something down there that led to something else. And I was like, what are they actually going for here with this story? The second story was a home invasion film, which I quite liked, but you can tell the budget constraints are in there, definitely. I know this was probably very low budget with, you know, the other Terrifier movies being less than $1 million to make. So God knows how much this one cost to make. I haven't really looked it up or anything, but you can just tell the low budget constraints are definitely in there, especially with the costume design in this second story. It was okay, but it was very straightforward. Didn't do anything special really. And the little tiny twist at the end, I seen coming. It's all to do with a painting, but I just knew what was on that painting from the start. But the third story in this anthology is definitely the best. This one features Art the Clown heavily. And it's kind of like a mini Terrifier film where it's just Art the Clown terrorizing this young woman, chasing her down, and sort of, you know, doing a little killing spree on the way there. But my favourite part of this anthology was the babysitter segments in between these 3 stories. I just thought it was really fun to see the banter back and forth with the kids and the babysitter. But this one has definitely the best payoff out of all the stories when the film finally concludes. And it just shows the twisted mind of Damien Leone and what he's trying to go for with these movies. Now, Mike Giannelli, who plays Art the Clown in this, it is not David Howard Thornton. I think he does a good job. But after seeing the 3 Terrifier movies, you know there is some untapped potential in this character, because David Howard Thornton just brings Art the Clown alive and gives him so much personality. And I think Mike Giannelli was trying to do that, but he just suddenly couldn't really reach the heights. He does okay though, but the whole design of Art, you can tell it's like a low budget type. It's definitely enhanced in the Terrifier movie. So Art the Clown, not as great as he is in the Terrifier films there. But I get this was Damien Leone's little mini boost to the character that he has created, and he's trying to get him out there and get everything started. I understand it's very hard for filmmakers to put their stamp on things and get their name out there, But I think he'd done a pretty good job with his first real directional debut, excluding them two shorts there. And it's a fun anthology film. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. It's not too long. It's only 82 minutes. It flies by, and you can have a lot of fun with it. But a lot of people seem to disagree with me on that. But I had fun. But it is in 4th place. Coming in 3rd place, we do have the first Terrifier movie. I remember watching this when it first came out, and I was like, holy shit, this Art the Clown guy is insane. I couldn't believe the lengths that Damien Leone went to with this character in this movie, and it arguably has my favourite kill in the entire franchise, involving a hacksaw and a young woman right there. But I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about when I talk about that kill. It's a very infamous scene. But for me, I know it goes more brutal in the other movies. I just love this kill because when I first seen it, I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't believe Damien Leone actually went there. But this one, if the anthology film All Hallows Eve was the little mini boost to get Art on the scene, this one is definitely a showcase for the character. The main focus of the film is Art the Clown and him just going around with all these creative kills and stuff. And there are some really great kills in here. I actually forgot when I rewatched this about that guy who gets the knife in the head and his head cut off while a knife's stuck in his head and stuff. So there is some really brutal stuff in here. But with that, with him just showcasing Art the Clown, it does lack in story. I mean, there isn't really much story here at all. The character of Vicky, which bookends the film, just felt a little strange to me. It didn't really add up. Thankfully, that does pick up in, well, mainly the 3rd Terrifier movie. But it's just basically Art the Clown killing people off. And I do like a little bit of story within my movies, even if it is a slasher movie. So it does lack in that department. And there is a little mini subplot with this woman who's going around with this baby doll and talking to her, and she's acting all crazy. And for me, it just didn't work. I mean, I just wish this wasn't in the film at all. I just don't know what Damien Leone was going for with that. And it just has a very cheap, low-budget feel every time these scenes come on. I don't know why. It just feels like he didn't really know what to do with that. And I know it is low budget and stuff, but them parts of the movie just bring it down even more and make it feel very, very cheap. It feels like a cheap story that didn't need to be there. But he has done some wonderful things here in this movie with the low budget constraints that he has, especially regarding the practical effects. I mean, he doesn't throw any CGI in there or anything, and I've got to give him props to that. You can tell he is a horror fan, and this is the way he wants to make his movies, so good on him. So Terrifier 1, whilst it being a fun time, there isn't much there in terms of story. You're just going to see lots of kills, and that's about it. But David Howard Thornton taking over the reins here brings Art the Clown to life, and that scene in the cafe at the start really does have you on edge, because this is the first time we really meet the character in these main 3 Terrifier movies. I imagine a lot of people didn't really watch All Hallows Eve, and the first time you see him, you don't know what's going to happen, so he really does put you on edge. But in 3rd place is Terrifier. Coming in 2nd place is going to be Terrifier 2, a little bit of a step up from the first film. I like the way we do have a little bit more story in here, especially regarding the 2 main characters of the film, in Lauren Rivera as Sienna and Elliot Fulham as Jonathan, who are brother and sister, and they have to fend off Art the Clown, who is coming for them, basically. And he's come back to Miles County to wreak havoc amongst the community there. But here, we do learn a little bit more of the lore of Art the Clown, the whole backstory. Not too much, it doesn't give too much away, but we know there's something there to work with, and Damien Leone sort of teases that. And in the 3rd act, we sort of get a little bit more story, but it all goes into kind of a fantasy element a little bit. And for me, I don't know if that fully works. I think it just sort of dragged the 3rd act on, but I appreciate that Damien Leone is trying to create this world of this Terrifier character, this Art the Clown, and give him so much more backstory that we can learn off and sort of go with in the next few movies. But there are some awesome kills in here once again. The infamous bedroom scene in this movie that had everyone freaking out, that seems to go on for about 5 minutes. Art the Clown does not stop when he's fucking up, absolutely fucking up this young girl. I mean, it's pretty mean-spirited, put it that way. But I think Art the Clown has a lot more personality in this movie as well, where he's trying on these sunglasses in the store, and he's trick-or-treating, and one moment he cuts this woman's head off and takes her brains out and stuff, and then he fills her head with sweets and candy, and these kids knock at the door and he hands it out, and the woman's going, "Oh, isn't that so realistic, kids?" And they're all taking the candy out, and this fat kid takes more than one, and he hits him on the hand and goes, "Only one." Well, he doesn't say it, but he mimes it, and it is so funny. But you're always on edge as well with what he is capable of. So yeah, Terrifier 2, definitely a step up. Definitely has a great final girl in there, Lauren Rivera, which is much more needed. The characters are kind of forgettable in the first movie, but here they are very memorable indeed. And you actually do care about them. You want them to succeed and get away from this Art the Clown character and finish him off once and for all. As much as we like Art, you are more behind Lauren Rivera's character and Elliot Fulham's character in this movie. There are some weird dream sequences in here, including the whole clown cafe as well, which sort of goes down the fantasy element a little bit. Doesn't really be fully explained, and I do get a little bit lost at times in this film, especially where Lauren Rivera falls in that big sort of water tank as well towards the end. I don't know what all that's about, but I appreciate the story that I was going for and the world building in this movie, even if it all doesn't work. And at 2 hours and 20 minutes, I don't think it really drags until like the last 30. The first, like, sort of nearly 2 hours fly by. It's just that third act that drags a little bit there. But I do enjoy this movie a lot. That is Terrifier 2. In first place, though, we do have the new kid on the block, Terrifier 3. And this is probably the most fun I've had at the movies all year round. Not the best film I've seen all year, but it's definitely in my top 10 overall movies because I had a blast. I mean, I had so much fun watching this film, and it was delivered everything I wanted in a Terrifier movie and more. The whole Christmas setting is a nice addition to this film, this franchise. It totally works. I like the way Damien Leone incorporates the holiday into some of the kills here, including intestines being wrapped around Christmas trees, and a whole shopping mall segment. Art the Clown is dressed as fucking Santa Claus in this movie. I mean, the kills push the boundaries even more. I mean, with each movie, they've seemed to cross a line even more, and this one, he definitely goes for it and sort of stretches as far as you think he can go. And with some of the stuff that's going on in this film, it is shocking that it's actually got a cinema release, but that is a great thing for horror fans and slasher fans. In a world that is a little bit desensitized, this movie has just been thrown out there and said, yeah, fuck it, we don't care. Art the Clown here this is my favorite time ever with him. I think David Howard Thornton has definitely stepped the character up a lot more here. The way he articulates his sort of personality on screen without any dialogue whatsoever, just using all these hand movements and face expressions, it totally works. You know everything that he is trying to say as this character, and there's some real hilarious moments. One scene in a bar where he actually sees Santa Claus in there, well, this guy dressed as Santa Claus, and he's so excited. He runs in the bar and wants to sit on his knee and everything, and it's so funny, but at the back of your mind, something bad is about to go down, and David Howard Thornton has this ability to just flick it like a switch, and you're laughing to your jaw on the floor the next minute. I dearly like the way to be picked up with Sienna here, where she's got a little bit of trauma there from the past movie, but every time she's trying to act happy and sort of not be negative around people and stuff, you can still see the sadness behind her eyes. But when she has to break out of that shell and sort of get angry with people and stuff, she owns the screen, and she still brings that kick-ass warrior personality from the second movie. I thought she was fantastic in this film, especially in the third act, which is a great third act, by the way. And the character of Vicky is introduced a lot more into this movie. I thought we kind of lost her. I didn't know what they were doing with that character, but she is given a bit more of a story in this one, and she is involved in a lot of the kills. It's not just Art doing the carnage here. We also have another character, which is a welcome addition. My biggest gripes with the movie, it does leave a few more questions than answers. And I know there's a Terrifier 4 planned in the works. It's gonna come. We all know that. So I think that will get answered in that movie, and maybe we can look back on these 4 movies and sort of it'll work in tandem with each other. But right now, I have more questions than answers. Also, the young girl of Gabby, the character of Gabby, really grated on me in this film. I mean, she was just one of them annoying kid actors, and it didn't quite work for me with her character. She sort of gets in harm's way at times, and we are meant to care as much as Lauren Oliveira's character does. Sienna care about her, but I don't. I just didn't care. I didn't care if she died. So yeah, I couldn't really get behind all that too much because she just grated on me. She was just like this overexcited kid, always in your face and stuff. So yeah, but overall, I was never bored. I was never dull. It's such a fun, well-paced movie, and probably this is why it's number 1. It's my favorite one in the franchise. So in first place is Terrifier 3. Okay guys, I hope you all enjoyed that ranking. Please leave your ranking of the Terrifier movies down below. Even if you haven't seen All Hallows Eve, maybe just rank the 3 other movies. What did you think of this ranking? What do you think of my thoughts on the movies? Please do leave it in the comments down below. And if you want more rankings of movie franchises, I'll leave them in the description down below as well. So don't forget to check them out. If you can give this video a like and subscribe to this channel, it will really help me out. Thanks so much, guys. You take care, and I'll see you on the next video.